Today, I'm going to be doing my presentation on a PowerPoint due to the pandemic that's going on right now all around the world. I wasn't able to go outside to find a printer, so I'll be talking about Herbert J. Gans today. Herbert J. Gans was a sociologist known for many accomplishments and things he did throughout his life. He was born in Cologne, Germany in 1927. 11 years later, in 1938, Gans left Germany for England, then soon after made his way to the United States. In 1945, he became a U.S. citizen and graduated the University of Chicago with an M.A. in sociology, a master's in sociology. And furthering his education at Chicago, in 1950, he acquired his master's in social sciences. He began studying planning and sociology at the University of Pennsylvania and earned his Ph.D. by 1957. From 1950 to 1953, he worked as a planner, then began working for the University of Pennsylvania during his studies there as a lecturer, but later promoted to professor of urban studies. Upon leaving in 1969, he began working as a teacher, teacher's college for a few years. Then in 1971, he worked at Columbia University, which is in New York City, starting as a sociology professor. In 1985, he became Robert S. Lynn Professor for the remainder of his time, teaching at Columbia, which was up until 2007. He was the 70th president of the American Sociological Association and was well known for his knowledge of his studies. There can be numerous articles and books found on his publication, which you will be able to find here. Gans is well known for his 8 journalistic values, in which I'll be speaking upon today throughout the presentation. The first one is moderatorism, ethnocentrism, altruistic democracy, small-town pastoralism, excuse me if I'm individualism, social order, leadership, and responsible capitalism. So for the first one, I'll be speaking about moderatism. The value of moderation in all things. Extremists on the left and right here are viewed with suspicion. Journalistic with bias or extremist views are to be discouraged. And so with this being said, what Gans really wanted was some sort of equal, he wanted people to be more equal in writing, in this earth. He just wanted people to be equal. Ethnocentrism, believing your culture is higher than other cultures. So we have a lot of people like this today where, they'll say that because they are from a foreign country, they believe that their foreign country is better than America. Whereas us Americans believe that we're the best country in this world towards others. It's always going to be, but he believes that your culture is high. I think he, like I said earlier, he believes in equalization between cultures. There shouldn't be one higher than the other. Yeah. Altruistic democracy. Politicians should do what's best for people and serve with good intentions, not for their own well-being. So here, in other words, you shouldn't be selfish. There's no need to be selfish. Politicians do it. You should be able to receive feedback. There's nothing perfect, as said, and more to it. Small town pastoralism. Nostalgia for old-fashioned rural communities. Believing cities are to be dangerous, and your smaller communities, suburbs are boring, but overall safer. So a lot of people believe that if you come from like a smaller town versus like a New York City, you're bound to be safer. Whereas if you live in a big city, it's more dangerous and stuff like that. Individualism. Journeys of finding a person who has the ability to make a difference. So in other words, he's basically saying here that there's always going to be one person that stands out that's, going to make a difference. And you can actually read one of his books here, Middle American Individualism, The Future of Liberal Democracy, in which he wrote. If you'd like to go get it, you can find it online or at a bookstore or something. Next here we have social orders. Upon finding disorder, journalists will try to restore order. If there's problems in the economy, restoration is introduced organization in which prevents disorder. For example, the judge here, we put bad people in jail. You know, if there's a problem and, you know, they do something that's illegal, they get put in jail. That's a form of organization within a community or within, you know, all types of systems. This is a way of organization in order to prevent disorder. Next, leadership. Government workers are often ignored due to being under certain people. The leaders, those who get acknowledged more. Understanding the culture is essential. For example, right now during the pandemic, all eyes is on the president, meaning that everybody else is working behind, you know, the presidents aren't really being acknowledged as much as the president is. We don't really worry about others besides President Trump. In other words, he's just not acknowledged as much as the other ones. Responsible capitalism. Businesses can compete. It makes for flourishing businesses. However, it must be done responsibly. So, for example, if we were to compare two companies, such as, for example, going on basketball, we compare Ball is Life to Slam Magazine. They both, you know, have the same intentions, but it's bad to, you know, have both companies fight over, you know, who's better. In other words, we need responsibly. They can compete, but in a responsible way. You get what I'm saying? Like, none of them is better than one another. It's all equal. Like Gail said, he wants equality. He wants equality. Yeah. So that's pretty much it here. Some of Gang's publishers, in which you can find either online or at a bookstore. Yep, there you go.